I gotta paint a mask. Welcome back. So I got this new little setup here. It's nice. I can hang up all the masks I'm working on. And I built a new workbench. A little space for my tools. And I can slide around in this office chair. Got a blank today from Top Notch. All right, let's get to work. Yep. There is a faster way to do this, but I'm not going to share it yet. And when I did this, I didn't know it yet. Just getting started on these eye holes. And for the first time ever, I needed to replace the sanding belt on the drum bit. You gotta do every angle of the eye holes. You don't want it to look like shit. It's putting out a lot of dust, so I put a mask on. You really need to sand the eye holes to get them nice and rounded, or else they'll look too jagged from the Dremel. And more sanding on the eye holes. It's gotta be perfect. Let's go! Spent more time lately preparing the blanks before I spray paint them. If you've been following along, you know I've been using this step bit as of late. And did I just put a Dremel bit on the drill? I believe I did. Now the drill is a little slower, so I don't want to go all the way through the mask here. So I'm being really careful, but these are the snap holes. And the snap fastener holes, I like them to have this rounded out inside to get the best connection possible. So the mask will be a lot thicker later. Wanted a nice smooth edge all the way around it. As you can see, I start dremeling the edge. This goes on for a while, I think. Back to sanding it. You can't really see what I'm seeing here. So you might think I'm being a little too obsessive. And this isn't even the last time that I mess with this edge. Now I'm just lightly sanding the surface. Lightly sanding, lightly sanding, lightly sanding. And I like to inspect it and make sure there's no deep gouges. It's hard to see when the mask is clear. But it won't be clear for very long. Thus begins an epic spray painting of this blank. Starting with a flat white primer on the inside. A little flip. And I'm starting to notice little bugs. So if you see me blowing on the mask, that's why I'm doing it. There's a little spider web there too. And I guess the only problem with doing this outdoors would be these little bugs, these little gnat bastards. Because if they land on the mask while it's wet like this, or in the middle of spraying, they pretty much fuse to it. And you can pull them off with tweezers, but they'll leave a big bloody streak, and it's just nasty business. Be going through a lot of primer here. Here I am blowing on this mask again to get bugs off of it. Ridiculous.
Whoa, man.
And you can't see it from here. But there's a lot of these little fuckers. And about this time I noticed this guy. He pretty much moved over to the other side of the pole, but I figured he would leave once I started spraying, but he just was holding his ground, so. Yeah, I was blinded by the sun here, so I didn't know what I was filming. But I did get a pretty good shot of him. I think. Yeah, look at this. This fucking guy. He's got fucking crab claws, man. Respect. And he's pretty much just staring me down and... Yeah, look at this shit. Fucking crazy, man. But whatever, he won't leave, so I just keep spraying. I feel bad, you know, I don't want to spray the little guy. I mean, if there's a human getting in the way, I'd spray him right between the eyes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I just feel bad spraying a little spider like that. So the reason we're layering up is I want the mask to be thicker. And I want the vent holes to be sunk in a bit. Kind of like this. One of them looked a little strange. It seemed a little wider than the others on one side. So I ended up fixing it. It looks a lot better. It's going to get sprayed over more anyway. But I used super glue. Just a little bit around the rim. And would you believe it? Fucking crab claws is still hanging out here. And it's just crazy. I mean, look, he's trying to come back around the front. Fucking ridiculous, man. The spider ends up winning the war. And just switch to the other pole. And then my bitch ass moves him over to the other side of the yard. Jesus. Look at this fucker. So we're still putting primer on this thing. I know this seems crazy, but it's really a nice day out. There's perfect drying conditions. Primer dries faster than other things, so any other situation, this would be overspray, but this is working really well today. Yep. You think I'm not going to show this whole process? I am. This every little bit of the painting. Maybe I'll get my pop rivets in the mail today. Yes, part 6 is keeping me company. It's lonely here at the studio. I have to do stupid Peter Pan shit like this to keep my mind occupied. This is starting to look a lot more like I want. But the vent holes were clogging up, so I cleared them out before the final few coats. And I'm actually going to seal all the white coats in with a flat clear. This is an important step because I want the gouges to go deep. This is one of these little fuckers. It's one of those little bastards. Just see, you blow on the fucker and they leave. I hate those things. They will ruin your mask.
This fly is a major problem for us. It will ruin our batch.
Are we done spraying this thing? How long does this go on? Might as well spray the snaps while we're waiting. I like to keep some cans around that only have a few sprays left, just for doing these snaps. But these ones, they're not kicking. What We got what? Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. How about some more spray painting? I think that's what this mask needs. Looks like I'm sealing it up here. I like to seal the back before I start painting. More of these little sons of bitches.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, f***s.
Hot damn.
So I got a new can out, and it's extremely important to shake it for a full minute. 'Cause it's hot as balls out, and it's been sitting in a cold basement. What do you think? Should we spray paint it some more? Fucking hummingbirds, man. Yeah, I don't know. Thinking maybe more spray paint. What do you guys think? No, I think it's ready. Wait a minute. What's this along the edge? Yeah, let's start dremeling it some more.
Goddamn hummingbirds. Bastard.
So here I'm going to update the eye holes with the Dremel. And very carefully in a low setting, I'm going to round out the edges and angles, I guess you'd call them. Long story short, after you've sprayed a mask many times, some of the features will start to stand out that you didn't notice before. Like this edge. It's got a little lip on it. And I'll do whatever it takes to get rid of that thing. I don't care if it's already spray painted. I'll just Dremel right through the paint, being careful not to chip anything along the way. And when it's all done, we'll spray it some more. So I don't want it to look dremeled. And this little f***ing rat. He's always interrupting my important work. Time to get crazy. You know how I love to obsess over these chevrons. And the reboot chevrons are the hardest ones, I think, by far. That's not going to stop me from obsessively picking at them and messing with these decals until they look like the ones in the reference. I wish I could have got a better angle of this, but you'll just have to be happy knowing that it's a meticulous process. So transfer tape. And the reason I'm doing this in this room is I like to use this bigger screen here for the reference. It's good to kind of make a measurement with a tool, or just eyeball it until you get the placement right. These chevrons come from Top Notch as well. These are very nice chevrons. And into this oil painting to take a break and get ready for some color. And of course, first we're using this desaturated yellow ochre. And I'm going to take my sweet ass time getting this color right. I want it to be dirty and yellow, but not too yellow and not too dirty. Almost like a gray pecan color. You know what that is. Needs a little more gray. This first color is very important. And I've become rather robotic about how I mix it. Okay. Here we f***ing go. Just trying to get the smallest amount of paint on the sponge for now. And man, watching this back, I am being meticulous as all hell about this first layer. It's almost concerning. Like I'm worried about myself. I don't know. It's not that crazy, actually. What I need is a wet palette. This is a wet palette. This one's from Jerry Art Craft Depot thing. I don't know. But a wet palette keeps your acrylics wet while you're working on them, obviously, so they don't dry out. And it's stupid I don't have one yet. You know, looking at the palette I use now, seems like I'm badly in need of an update. I might get one of those. But here's the thing. I also like very dry paint at certain stages. Like this stage, for example. And for this particular mask, I just want this first layer to be very dry. I don't want the yellow to be all spread out and smeared and prominent like a lot of my masks have the first layer that way. So very early in the process, I've been doing the vent holes. And we're getting the mask up to this nice golden layer that is really not going to be that visible later. Looks like I've added some browns too. These gouges are actually very important, because it's not just the paint smears around the eyes. There's actual deep gouges. And this is what the mask looks like before you chip up all this lovely paint job. The chipping is fun though, don't get me wrong. Took it outside to get some good views of that. it looks actually kind of weird before you chip it up. But as you can see, we did the forehead Z. Chevrons look pretty good. I like the mouth. Alright, now the shitty part, which is putting on the snaps. I'm not going to bother showing you that process because that was a pain in the ass. But these look good. You see I've painted up the cheek snaps to look kind of rusty. Here's a better look at some of the paint chipping. That's a fun process. Sorry I didn't show it. It's too crazy to film. I don't even know how to explain it. So I'm not checking my phone messages here. I'm actually looking at the reference that my customer sent me. And we're not going to copy it exactly, but it's just to give me an idea what the blood is going to look like. I guess now is as good a time as ever to talk about the water. So you might see me dipping the brush in this water sometimes, and when I do the messier parts of the mask. But it's not just water. I put things in there. Secret things. No, I'm just kidding. There's an assortment of things. It depends on what I'm doing, but it's basically a homemade flow aid.
I see it. I see it now.
And it's different things. Detergents, different liquids, soaps. It's a whole different topic. But long story short, it's a wash without any paint in it. It's like what you would use as the base for a wash. And just using water alone doesn't really give you that smear. I like a greasy smear sometimes, and that's why I use very small amounts of different substances like that in the water. Here you can kind of see the roll that I'm doing with my thumb. And I also do that a lot when I am painting on like a drippy area. Because blood likes to pool around in weird directions. It doesn't just flow straight down. I don't think. So the reason I'm painting these acrylics on first is that the prop blood only is one color. And I like some variation underneath it. Now we're just going to go from lights to darks. And it's very dark, but I want the blood to be almost black. And here I'm cleaning out the vent holes. And the mask here has already been clear coated. I've got my prop blood. I've got some water from Camp Nova Bosco, which is Crystal Lake. And we're going to use that to thin the blood out a little bit. Use saran wrap, not to protect the workbench, but to protect the mask from any dirt that might get on it from the bench. So I don't want the blood to pick up any kind of particles. So I'm basically just tracing over the blood patterns that I've put on with the acrylics earlier. I wanted to get a better angle, but there's nowhere to put the camera over there. Might end up building something into the workbench. I don't know. Yep. Looks like it just came out of a wood chipper. Or whatever that thing was. Didn't look like any wood chipper I've ever seen. Probably a meat grinder or something. I don't know. I don't know barns. It's looking pretty good. I like to keep the angle of the mask up for certain drying things. Wonder what this Crystal Lake water tastes like.
Tastes like Jason.
Inside of the mask looks pretty cool. And I decided to just do the pH the way I normally sign. I figure we'll do that with the prop blood this time. Kind of be sneaky about it and throw it in the corner. Yeah, look at that. I like it. Every mask I did this year will say pH 25. Does that snap sound mean the mask is done? No, of course not. Damn, it looks cool though. Yeah, I'm doing the inside of the strap. Just, it looked too clean. So I'm putting this grime mixture on there. It's not just paint. But it's permanent. Hopefully. This might rub off, I don't know. Just want the straps to look old. Okay, it's done. This makes me want an ice cream sundae. I don't know why. Shouts out to Aaron. This mask was all his idea. Thanks so much for watching. See a lot of new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. You guys are all very cool, very patient. I got a lot of mask orders all of a sudden out of nowhere. So the reason I haven't been having videos is I've been too busy painting masks. But I filmed a lot of it. So a lot of these videos should be coming very soon. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back as soon as possible, I swear.